So now on the show, I want to take a look at a brand new documentary that is out in cinemas this week called Undercover. Now, this is directed and written by Sue Thompson, and it is narrated by Margot Robbie. And this is an interesting documentary because you've probably heard in the news recently that one of the largest numbers of people who are becoming homeless are older women. It's quite a scary statistic, and I know that it's been a statistic that's been talked about a lot in the press, but I don't feel like it's been properly explored. This documentary actually does that, and one of the things I liked about this documentary was that it looks at a variety of different people. This would have been a really easy documentary to have done just with 2 or 3 people and explored their stories. But this documentary actually looks at a range of women. It looks at how they became unemployed, how they became homeless, how they have dealt with being homeless, and what the future looks like to them. And it's quite a powerful documentary because of that, because I think one of the things that really hit me with this documentary was how easy it is for somebody to become homeless. Most of the women that are looked at in this documentary would never have expected to become homeless. In fact, one of them says that growing up in the suburbs and living in the suburbs as a woman, she never thought there would be a day when she was homeless, yet it just happened in one day when her husband came home and said, "We have no money," that all started. I found this to be an interesting documentary. I found it to be interesting more because of the way that it explored the topic at hand. I found the women's stories are very, very interesting. I did feel that this documentary could have gone further. I would like to have heard more from experts, including doctors and psychologists and more social workers. I think that's something that this documentary did lack. It did tell some amazing stories of these women and what they've been through and how they got to where they were, which I think was really, really educational. But I would love to have heard some of the stories from some of the groups that we know work with homelessness, people like the Salvos. I would like to have heard more from them about what's being done to try and solve this epidemic that we're kind of seeing at the moment of older women being made homeless. But still, this is a very, very powerful documentary. It's a documentary that I probably should warn you may trigger some people if you've been through personal experiences yourself. This is a film that could trigger, but it is such a powerful documentary, and I think it will go some of the way to dispel some of the myths around homelessness. I mean, I know with the charity that I do some volunteer work for that you hear, I'll tell someone that I do volunteer work there, and then they'll start telling me about why they don't support charities that help with the homeless, that most homeless people, it's their fault that they're homeless because of addiction and stuff like that. This film dispels all of those myths, and I'm so thankful for that, because so many times in movies we see a homeless character and it just goes further to enhance that myth instead of working against it. So I really like this documentary for the fact that it dispels a lot of those myths. Like I said, I love the fact that it delves into these women's stories. It's a very touching documentary. It's a doco that will speak to a lot of people. I just wish that it had that little bit more where it was talking to some of the experts in the field as well. But look, I'm still going to give this doco 3.5 out of 5. I think it's a very important documentary for a lot of people out there to go and watch. So if you get a chance to go and check out Undercover, go and check it out.